Welcome to this tutorial on how to paint a beautiful Alla Prima beach scene inspired by the stunning Cas Abao Beach in Curaçao, in the Dutch Caribbean. In this session we'll paint wet on wet to capture the vibrant colors, soft textures and tranquil vibe of this tropical paradise, all in one sitting. So let's grab our brushes and dive right in. We'll start by lightly sketching the horizon. Keep it about 1/3 from the top for a nice balance. And also, in this case, I'm adding this beautiful rock formation, which is iconic for this specific beach. Now let's block in some big shapes and colors, starting with the sky and mixing titanium white with a touch of cerulean blue for a soft warm sky. I work quickly but confidently as we're painting Alla Prima. I'm keeping it soft, I'm keeping it light, and I don't want to focus in the end to be on the sky. So that's why we want to keep it a bit light as well, and later on I will also add some clouds over this paint. But that's a concern for later on. Now let's move on to the water. Here you see a lot of things happening, and my main color here I'm using is, what's in the name, Caribbean blue, which is a beautiful turquoise or teal color, a bit to the blue-greenish side of the spectrum. And I'm mixing in there also some ultramarine blue, some cerulean blue, some hints of white, so basically a lot of different mixtures. And near the shoreline I have the lighter tones, and deeper in the ocean I have the darker tones as well. For now it's still just about blocking in those bigger shapes and shifts of colors, what we see. Moving on to the mountains, I'm using a mixture of raw umber and titanium white. Here and there also some yellow ochre. Those darkest shadows is a mixture between the raw umber and ultramarine blue. It creates an air black. Now the shoreline sometimes shows these dark patches of very wet sand, where the wave just is rolling back. Don't forget to add that in. For the lush greenery, I'm just using some yellow ochre and ultramarine blue. I'm gently adding a bit of hints of clouds in there, just softening it out with a brush, making it very subtle. Let's start by adding that foamy wave in the front. It's not a pure white yet, but a very light teal. In the left corner there, about 1/3 from the top, you see some darkness. That's the coral reef. So this is also how you add dynamics to your water body there. Again, I'm still working with very smooth paint. I'm all blending it out. We don't want any hard lines just yet. I'll keep those for the wave itself. Splatters there. As you see, I'm moving all over the place. I go from my water to the sky, to the mountains, and to the shoreline. That's because it gives me a cohesion, and it helps me in achieving a general feel, general vibe of the painting where I'm heading to. In the front I'm putting some pebbles as well, and that's under a slight layer of water, so we'll go over that later on again. There we have those darker patches of wet sand. And you can look through the water, so you see a lot of things happening below there. But keep it simple for yourself. Think in the bigger shapes. Think of the essence. It's not a perfect picture we're trying to paint, just capturing the essence of what we see. To add some more depth to our rolling wave, I'm also layering in there. So you see some darker bands of color, and then a lighter band, then a darker band. It gives the impression that there's motion in there, that something's happening. And here I start with adding the first whites to that shoreline. That wave, that will be the focal point. The pure whites I'm keeping for that wave, that foamy wave. But also, don't forget that everything on the water is reflective. But we don't want to focus on there, so I'm putting a lighter blue tones on there, and I'm smudging them out a bit. I don't want to too much focus on the deeper water. Also, I'm adding some cadmium yellow to my mixtures of blues to create that more greenish teal as well. It's all about a variety of color. And those pure whites I put on very thickly, so I really load that brush with paint. And I'm not only using pure whites here, but also very, very, very light blues to create a mixture of different types of lights. And don't forget, everything in this world has shadows, even those crushing foamy waves. And adding shadows will really help emphasize the realism of what you're trying to convey. In these very shallow waters also, there's some reflections from the light, so putting some highlights in there as well, smoothing out the dark patches here, adding some shadows here and there. Redefining that horizon line there, making it darker, because it's really a deep, deep blue what you see there. Refining the coral reef a bit, what you see there, those dark splotches, and also adding some more greens in the distance. We want just that hint of Caribbean beauty. We basically want to feel that warm Caribbean breeze. Ah, guys, I want to go back there now. Darkening the shadows, it's a bright day, nice sunlight, so we have some nice shadow parties going on there in that rock. And also some hard lights. And there's a little cast shadow on the water, which is then a dark ultramarine blue. Here I'm simply suggesting some cactuses, or are they called cacti in plural form? I don't know. But I'm putting them on there as well. Now let's go back to those clouds. We want to define them a little bit more, but not too much. We just want to have a nice calm sky with the suggestion of clouds. If it would be just a bright blue, it might be too distracting. No, we want a bit of a light, hinting towards a gray, really grayed down version of a blue. Keep it simple. Just add some titanium white, rub it out. And also, this is a nice moment to redefine the edges of the horizon there. Here I'm adding more to the sand, make it pop a bit more. And that's also the discretion you have as an artist, right? You can paint what you want and however you want it. Adding some more shadows in the foreground, smoothing out in the background, adding some more shimmering lights here and there, lightening up the wave with actually mixing the lightest sand color in there. So that's how you can also reuse your colors. Often when I paint, I pre-mix colors, but here I really did it on the go. So it's quite a party going on there on the color mixing. But it's a fun experience. Here we need to add some more lights to those rocks in the distance because the sun is also hitting on there. Don't forget about that. And there you have it. a vibrant Alla Prima painting of the breathtaking Cas Abao Beach. I hope this tutorial inspires you to capture more moments of nature on canvas, and if you enjoyed this, be sure to like, subscribe and share your creations. Happy painting!